Hey guys, Booligan here with Booligan Shooting Sports. Today we're taking an actual quick look at, this is a work in progress design by Deterrence Dispensed with frames for the FNS series of pistols in both 40 and 9mm. I'm part of the beta test for that, and during the beta, what I was able to obtain as far as an FNS-40 parts kit was the long slide version. And the long slide version is the same as the normal length and the compact version. But what I wanted to do obviously was to make a frame, was to remix that frame so that it would have a full length dust cover, because I really like that look. I've never liked the look when the dust cover comes up short of the slide, and of course had to add my touches to it. So this is, ignore my terrible, terrible French, the FNS-40 Gros Chungus. Sort of a variant of my Big Chungus series, like my Glock 17L Big Chungus. The FN design is Belgian, and in Belgium they speak French, and Big Chungus in French is Gros Chungus, or something along those lines. My French is terrible. It is what it is. But when I had designed that guy, I had a lot of people that really liked the underbarrel weights, but then I had a lot of people that wanted a rail instead. Some people wanted both, but those people are crazy people, and we don't negotiate with terrorists. So what I decided to do was first to stretch that frame out so that first you would have the long slide, you know, it would be flush with the front of the long slide, but to have a rail integrated into it. And then came up with this little guy, the Gros Chungus weight module. So this is just a single weight channel, unlike the Big Chungus, which has dual weight channels. This is a single weight channel, 3/8 inch hole that is secured with a set screw. And in this case fits a quarter pound, fits 4 ounces of tungsten weights. So adds a little bit of weight up on the front of the slide, or excuse me, up on the front of the frame that's not reciprocating weight to help reduce recoil. It's a pretty tight fit, but it sort of just slides on. To clarify, we are working empty gun here, but it sort of slides on, and then it's secured with a screw that I'm not going to install now, but just to sort of show you how it looks and fits on there. That way, if you are doing something like competitive shooting where you don't need like a flashlight or laser or whatever, you just want to have some weight on the frame to mitigate recoil, you can do that. You can, you know, shoot just fine with this thing. It actually shoots really, really well, as I'll show video at the end of this. But then if you do want to have a more practical pistol, you just kind of, you know, now it's a tight fit, not wanting to come off. But you just kind of tap it off, and, you know, then you can run instead you can run a flashlight or whatever you want on the bottom of the frame. So that way you sort of have the best of both worlds. You have a more practical and tactical pistol frame, as well as a more competition-minded pistol frame. So in testing this, I took it out to the range and ran through 2 boxes of ammo. So this is just has like 100 rounds through it. I have cleaned it up. This thing got dusty as hell. A lot of gunshot residue on the front of this light colored frame, but it ran flawlessly, perfectly, 100 perfect rounds through this. I ran some of my factory guns and was not getting that degree of reliability. About the shooting experience. This is, again, chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. And it is very flat shooting, which I was pleased to see, because that's sort of the whole idea of this underbarrel weight system, is to have a flat shooting gun. And it shot really well. I took some slow motion comparison video shooting it with the weight module and without the weight module to try to see if you could see like a reduction in muzzle flip. And while you perceive that there's a reduction in muzzle flip while shooting. It feels very flat shooting and able to get back on target faster. It doesn't really look like there is on the slow motion video, which you'll see at the end of this. But overall, this is it's an early frame design. This is still in beta. The files have not been publicly released. I will not be releasing this in its form until the actual frame files are released publicly, and then I will remix whatever the newest updated version is to something, you know, pretty much identical to this. A little bit about the FNS-40 design before we wrap this up and get to some range video. These are pretty much fully ambidextrous. The parts kits for them are usually, they used to be really cheap, like it used to be like $150 parts kit. They've since gone up and have kind of dried up a little bit, but you'll find more of these eventually. I think that they're going to show up on the market. I don't think they're a dead parts kit or anything like that. But this guy I built for like $210 with the parts kit, and then with obviously just the Duramic PLA Plus filament that I like to use. My final version, I don't know what color I'm going to do it in. Probably black, just because I've got the black slide. I just did this version in a light color so you can sort of get a little bit better detail on the stippling and stuff like that. You can kind of just see a little bit better the design features. So yeah, go ahead and I'll show just a couple of quick videos from the range just to give you guys an idea of how it shoots. A quick update on the channel. So normally when at the end of this, I kind of bump my Patreon and talk about, that's where I release the files. I release my files on Patreon as a perk to my patrons, and then I release them publicly on my Odyssey page, which is Booligan Custom Gunworks. That is going to be changing. It's going to be June tomorrow, filming this on Memorial Day, and I'm changing that. I'm leaving the Patreon platform, mainly because they're politely asking me to, before they not politely ask me to leave the platform. They don't support what I do. They don't support how we do it. They don't support firearm rights or file drops. They don't support any of that, and have basically politely asked me to leave Patreon. So we'll be leaving Patreon here. By the time this video is live, I will theoretically be off Patreon completely, and we'll be moving to a brand new website, which I've designed without the hierarchy, without like this, you know, daddy Patreon or daddy subscribe star telling me no, what I can and can't do. I'm just running it myself. So we'll be offering all of the same perks and benefits that you guys got on Patreon, but through my own stuff. So stay tuned for that. There will be an announcement. Follow my social media channels. That's where I do most recent updates and things like that. Do not join my Patreon right now, because you'll not get any benefits for the month of June. So yeah, but that is this little project update here and kind of project introduction. Now let's go to the range, see how this thing shoots. And of course, thanks for watching. First test shots out of the FNS-40 Gros Chungus.
You